The following Demand Impact video has temporary voiceover. When the script is finalized, this voice will replace the narrator you are about to hear.
Wow, that is too strong. So you start getting the damaging winds when you start getting back to where Mark is, and just east of here at Jinx Riverside Airport.
On June 18th, 2023, Tulsa was blindsided by a powerful windstorm. A sudden burst of hurricane-force gusts that tore through the city in the middle of the night on Father's Day.
100-mile-per-hour winds as the peak of the storm went through. 1 million cubic yards of debris was collected.
Entire blocks were left without power, trees snapped in half, and damage was scattered across East Tulsa.
This is a Big Lots store, but you can see that facade was just obliterated by the wind.
The damage is easily seen on the sides of the Heatherstone apartments, where parts have been ripped off the roof and also blown off in areas because of the high winds.
After the Father's Day storm, she says more than 100 parks are still covered in debris or have hanging tree limbs, deeming some parks unsafe, resulting in closures.
But in the center of the destruction path was Eastland Baptist Church, a longtime anchor for this part of Tulsa, serving not only as a place of worship, but as a hub for schools, events, and neighborhood life. Their strip of storefronts along East 21st Street took a direct hit. The roof was heaved up by the wind and slammed back down into place. Businesses that had stood here for years were suddenly crippled, leaving tenants to wonder what was to come next for their livelihoods and for the future of this corner of the community. When engineers first inspected the damage, they found that the roof had only shifted a few inches. On paper, that may not seem like much, but it was enough to make the storefronts unsafe for tenants and impossible for business. At the time, it looked like a quick fix. That's when Eastland Baptist Church, the owner of the property, turned to their insurance provider for help. And like a good neighbor, State Farm promised that they'd be there. But after months of delays and silence, it became clear the money for the repairs weren't coming. One by one, every business in the plaza moved out, forced to find new homes, while the church was left to cover the property taxes and guard the building from vandals and vagrants. All the while, they held on to hope that the insurance money they had faithfully been paying would eventually come through. However, 2 years later, that hope had worn thin. State Farm never responded, and the damage only spread. Leaks stained the ceilings, tiles crumbled, the elements crept in. What had once been a manageable repair was now too costly to restore. With no tenants for over 2 years, the church had lost critical income, and still, there was no sign of their insurer. Though no one saw the roof lift away that night, the evidence was undeniable. In the engineer's report, they documented shifted rafters, twisted metal beams, and insulation poking through the roofline. Even the gutters had been wrenched free. All signs of a roof that had been torn loose and forced back down by the storm's power. But without insurance support, Eastland Baptist Church was left with an impossible choice. The building that had once been a cornerstone for the community would have to come down. Its demolition drew frustration and heartbreak from neighbors who cherished what it represented. A piece of Tulsa history erased not just by the storm, but by inaction of State Farm. And now, with the plaza reduced to rubble, the church is left asking several questions. Where was State Farm in all this? When the rest of Tulsa received help from their insurance providers after the Father's Day storm, why was Eastland Baptist Church left behind? And what were the reasons they weren't taken care of?